Grand Theft Auto Vice 2, the game of my childhood. No, man. Even when I played this game in internet cafes when it first came out, I was already a grown man. Anyway, welcome to a new theory video. Before we get started, if those who love theory videos show themselves and smash that like button, I'll clearly understand how many of us there are. And I can make more theory videos. Oh, and you can also subscribe. Don't just watch from afar, guys. There's room for all of you on the channel. By the way, let me warn you in advance, after watching this video, your perspective on the game might completely change. What I'm about to tell you will be some hidden events in the game that many of you probably haven't noticed. So, actually, we're going to try to create an alternative reality in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Theory videos are made purely for fun and to brainstorm for enjoyment. So make sure to write in the comments any parts you find illogical. But don't throw fire at me just because you hear these theories and think you're going to burn me at the stake like some people. It's just for fun, so enjoy it. Anyway, I've talked too much, so I'll cut the chatter and get things going. My first theory is about that damned Versetti mansion. Did anything about this mansion catch your attention? I mean, isn't it a really big and extremely iconic building? I can say it's the most iconic building in the game. Well, this mansion is a reference to the Scarface mansion. How's that for a theory? No man, wait a minute, it's not that simple. Let me explain. Now, when we look at the Versetti mansion, formerly known as the Diaz mansion, it could be the center of a secret cult in White City. So what is this cult? It might be hosting a secret organization like the Illuminati, where strange ceremonies and rituals are performed. For example, one of the things that caught my eye in this mansion is the maze in the garden. I mean, who would want to have a maze built in their mansion? Okay, there are mazes like this in some castles in England, but in this mansion there are also secret areas next to the pool. Everything's normal so far, right? Well, he's a crime lord. Of course, you might think there would be secret areas in his mansion, but wait a minute. There's more. There's also a group called the Haytan Gang in the game, right? I mean, we see this gang's interest in voodoo rituals a lot in the game. Maybe Diaz even performs their rituals in the mansion while working with this gang. Speaking of Diaz, I want to talk about this crazy, insane character right away. Now, instead of attributing Ricardo Diaz's paranoid and aggressive behavior solely to his close involvement with the white trade, can we also explain this madness by his role in this cult, that is, in the magic business? I'll say something even crazier. In the Little Haiti area, there's some interesting graffiti and such. The gang members are always talking about these mysterious powers and such. And even the strange statues around the mansion could be a secret sign that this is the center of witchcraft. Hold on tight, I'm gonna say something even crazier. Could it be that Tommy Versetti actually made taking over this cult center his #1 plan? Maybe when he took over this mansion, he was secretly more interested in these magic affairs than just taking out Diaz. Maybe he's actually taking over these Illuminati-like cult members completely, and thus keeping the city totally under his control. I mean, it's just a theory. By the way, if there's any weird detail I missed in the mansion, be sure to write it in the comments, I'm curious. Now I'm going to move on to a stronger theory, the betrayal of Vance. Now, this jerk suddenly betrays us in the game. But I think Lance's betrayal was planned from the very beginning. I mean, he didn't make this decision all of a sudden. Because Lance was a character I was suspicious of from the very beginning. I mean, at the beginning of the game, he forms an alliance with Tommy, but later on he wants more power. I mean, this jerk keeps telling Tommy several times that they should share their power, right? But whenever he didn't get his share, he would immediately get aggressive. Actually, even these things were reasons for me to be suspicious before the betrayal happened. But of course, that's not all. For example, the Malibu Club heist. Lance and Tommy Versetti pull off a huge score in this heist. But he wants more money and power. Actually, after this point, their relationship starts to get a bit tense. Now there's also Diaz's death. I mean, Lance really wanted to take Diaz out of the picture. He also had personal reasons for this. But for Tommy, Diaz was just the biggest obstacle to taking over Vice T. So Tommy might have actually used Lance as a pawn at this point in Diaz's death. Before betraying Tommy, Lance frequently makes snide remarks to him, like, "Why are you always in control? Why do you make all the decisions?" and so on. It seems like Lance is clearly showing his discomfort right here. Actually, beyond all this, when Tommy took over Diaz's mansion, Lance felt like he was immediately left out. So, this might be where the final nail in the coffin was hammered on the road to betrayal. Like I said, Tommy Versetti actually uses Lance a bit like a pawn, so he establishes the balance of power accordingly. In fact, Tommy might have even suspected all of this throughout the story. I mean, the betrayal coming. Tommy, how many dimensions are you playing this chess game in? Anyway, in the end, the inevitable happens and Lance commits a major betrayal. But like I said, actually, this betrayal was coming all along. It was obvious from the very beginning. So, it wasn't really something to be shocked about. The other theory is this. The game's lost their mysterious characters. Now, after starting the game, we never hear from a few characters again in the later stages of the game. So where did these characters disappear to, man? For example, Mercedes Cortez. Tommy Versetti initially gets close to the Cortez family, building good relationships with them. In fact, Tommy and Mercedes get really close at the beginning of the game. But later on, this character suddenly disappears and we can't see her again for some reason. I think right here, Mercedes Cortez might have been afraid to be next to Tommy's rising power. I mean, getting involved in this whole crime network, or maybe she went to her father who had to run away. I can't understand her disappearance any other way. Why do you think she disappeared? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. And there's also Cam Jones, right? Now this guy disappears right after the big heist. He claims he got injured during the heist or something, but for some reason, we never see him again. Actually, maybe Tommy got rid of this guy in the background of the story so he wouldn't pose a risk. Because this injury story might have sounded ridiculous to Tommy. I mean, it's just a theory. Actually, I'm going to drop the real bomb here. Now we kill Ricardo Diaz and take his place, right? I mean, like a real big crime lord, you know? We're taking out this crime lord, but why didn't any of this guy's connections get involved in this situation? Why didn't they retaliate against us? This guy wasn't just an ordinary person. His death created a significant power vacuum as he controlled nearly all of the white trafficking. And all his connections acted like nothing happened. They didn't react at all. Why? So, do you think Tommy was the kind of person who could fill all that vacuum? Maybe. But still, what came after seems a bit simplistic. Honestly, I'm still curious. If you have an answer, write it down. So why didn't Vice-T return in the Grand Theft Auto universe? So, was this because it was uncertain how long Tommy's empire would last? Or did Rockstar completely cancel that universe? Because as you know, both Liberty City returned in Grand Theft Auto 4 and Los Santos returned in Grand Theft Auto 5, but Vice City never came back. Okay, Vice City is coming back in Grand Theft Auto 6, I know that. But is it really the Vice City we know and are familiar with? Or will it be a completely different fictional city? Rumors exist, but speculation is futile. We'll know when it's released. Honestly, seeing Tommy in Grand Theft Auto 6 really surprised me, but Rockstar likes things like this. Maybe we could see a reference like Tommy Versetti. I think we'll see it for sure. Now I want to talk about a completely different theory. Zombie outbreak in Grand Theft Auto Vice. Yes, it sounds a bit strange, but this theory could also be true. This isn't really about the story, but more about the game's beta files. I did some research and came across some strange things. In some beta files, it looks like a zombie outbreak was planned for the game, but it seems like they gave up on that idea. Because on the map, the lower parts of downtown are really made up of either empty areas or places like swamps. So it seems like these places don't really have much to do with missions either. I think these swamp-like areas might have been designed as places players can't enter, or even as the starting point of the outbreak. Or it could be that they wanted to add some kind of zombie mode to the game and then later gave up on the idea. Because in the beta version of the game, there are codes for aggressive zombie-like NPCs in the game files. One of the mission files contains an unused escape mission that didn't make it into the final game. I wonder if there could have been an escape scenario from these zombies or something like that. Or maybe they wanted to add some kind of zombie mode to the game and then decided not to. Should I be honest? I mean, at that time, Rockstar might have been influenced by the popularity of zombie games like Resident Evil. At first, they might have wanted to add it, but then the Vice-T zombie project could have been shelved. And a bonus theory. What if Vice-T never existed? Hold on. Okay, don't get excited. I'm explaining. Now, Tommy being released from prison in Liberty City and sent directly to Vice-T happens very suddenly. Maybe Sonny Forelli used Vice-T entirely as a stage just to test Tommy. Actually, one of the things that made me think this is the map of Vice City. I mean, compared to other Grand Theft Auto games, it's much more isolated, smaller, and its connection to the outside world is very limited. Maybe this was an area created by Sonny Forelli, and he only used it to test Tommy. Okay, I started flying. I'd better turn off the video. Don't forget to like for the continuation of the series. Oh, and which game's theory video do you want? Be sure to write it. Who knows? Grand Theft Auto 4 might get released. Stay safe. Goodbye.